Welcome back.
We're back
We're back.
in action.
And this episode's gonna be called
10 seconds from the last one.
Why Shadow doesn't deserve to be in Smash Bros.
All right, so in this episode, we're going to talk about the
That was a
politics.
KO right there.
The politics surrounding healthcare in the United States. Okay, well, that's this.
See, if he had healthcare, he wouldn't have died right there.
Damn it, Obamacare! You never covered Shadow. Oh god.
Okay, I need to like take this seriously now.
There's no point now. You've got 0 lives. Just
It's fine.
end it,
It's
dude.
fine. Just end it. Just
end
whoa.
it. Just it's not.
Speaking of healthcare, mental health is really important.
Oh god.
Oh, that hurt
You
my
weren't
throat
wrong.
a little bit.
You weren't wrong when you said. There we go. Perfect.
When I said
You
what?
said it's getting warm in here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Come on, boys.
Okay, so this time, instead of going in this without insurance, we got insurance.
We have insurance now.
Yes, we have healthcare. We moved countries.
Yeah, that's why.
So my goal in this episode is to
Save Canada.
beat the game.
Oh, you're not playing.
What do you mean?
Oh,
I've
yep.
been
This is
playing whole
Isaiah right now.
Yeah, this is me. All right, now
he's heading to the hospital.
For the first
He's heading
time, Ian takes control. It's all been a lie from Rouge the Bat, the conspiracy government spy. It's actually been me the whole time.
Yep, and now it's me.
And now it's me again.
No, as soon as I start doing good.
Who knows? We don't use face cam. You'll never know who's playing, except for when it's not me the whole time. But it is.
But it is.
Conspiracy dudes. That'll be my. Oh god, I had an idea for. That's right. I had an idea for a second channel yesterday.
Another
It's
channel?
called Sweaty Dudes, where I just record myself being way too sweaty in video games.
I know what content to put on that. Just take a picture of every controller you hold for more than 30 seconds, and that's all the sweat content you need.
Because I feel like. I mean, I wouldn't actually make that channel, but I feel like if I did, it would just be like me, 3 hours of me playing Halo and calling out
That's
furiously.
just got to be one of your one-offs. I'm so glad that
Me just
I
sweating.
don't understand what. Okay, there we go.
If I ever do another tournament, a Halo tournament, I will.
Yeah, what happened with that is.
Oh yeah. So
You need to. You haven't talked about that.
I competed in. They did these online.
You did compete?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that it got canceled because you guys were short a player or something like that.
No, so we did the. They were doing these Halo 2 anniversary. You know, I was gonna say earlier, my goal was to not talk about Halo in this episode.
Well, too bad.
Yeah, that's me, baby.
Because there's a gorilla.
Yes. So they did these Halo 2 anniversary tournaments online during this time where they couldn't hold any LAN events. And nice save.
Thank you.
And they were doing amateur tournaments, and then whoever were the top teams from the amateur tournament would compete in the pro tournament the next week with the already established pro teams for that tournament.
Yeah, right.
So I had zero expectation to be a top AM team.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we
I don't know what I'm doing.
I competed that my buddy Chris, Nick, and Pat, they're all from Breaking the Clutch. As many people that watch my stuff know.
Everybody knows because you don't shut up about them.
Well, I play all my games with them. So. But yeah, we competed in the first one, and there were 117 teams that signed up. Every time there was another AM tournament, there were less and less teams because the tournament was not great. It was they did a Swiss format, which is basically where you do like 5 rounds. Well, you have a set amount of rounds that you just place, and you just, depending on how you do in each round, shows like which teams you match up against in the next one. Okay. And you have to wait for every team to finish their match in that round And when you have 117 teams, you are waiting for
Sounds like a huge waste of time.
You're waiting for almost 60 matches to finish.
Why did they explain why they decided to do it that way?
Because they were doing it through a new, like, the Halo HCS people were like doing it through Face It, which is like a tournament organization thing. They organize tournaments, and that was the first time that they had done Halo tournaments, and they didn't know any better, so they just like kind of went off of notes that they had. And
underestimated how long matches generally go.
Yeah, and the rules for the matches were not what people had been playing for 20 years, so they were like...
then changed?
They just didn't... I mean, most of it was the same, but there were just issues with like the overtime rules. I mean, to save people having to explain how competitive Halo works, basically it just wasn't set up very well. There was a lot of miscommunications between admin and everything, and so the wait time between rounds was at least an hour every time. It was crazy. The tournament literally took all day, and so we won our first series. I think 3-1. Good. And then our second series, we went against a really good team, who ended up being not top 8, but they were up there.
So you got cleared by one of the top contenders.
We got beat.
I mean, if you're gonna go out early, that's a good
the
way
thing.
to...
So you play every round regardless. So it's just whatever you're...
Okay. So even if like... What?
Nice.
So it's like...
you play 5 rounds regardless.
Okay.
But you're just trying to...
So it's not like
as much as possible.
It's not like a loser's bracket scenario
No, it's
or
not like a
anything
double
like that.
elimination
It's just
tournament.
that you keep playing regardless.
You just play 5 rounds, and whoever did the best through 5 rounds, goes on. And there were issues because there were a lot of teams that ended up being 5-0, and they were like, so how do we decide? You guys didn't look at map count, like how many maps you won or lost. You just looked at who won the series. So there's a whole bunch of issues. Regardless, we won our first series, we lost our second series, and then our third series, we almost didn't get to play after waiting for almost 2 hours.
Tell me that you said this is like this would have gone to a more professional tournament after this.
Right.
Tell me that it's not the same people doing the professional version.
It was, but
Did they get their shit together?
The format was different for that was my alarm.
For the pro.
The format was different for the pro tournaments. They were just single elimination tournaments, which like isn't great, but it's a lot better than what we were doing. But yeah, you would just go to a single elimination pro tournament after that. But yeah, we in our third series we almost didn't get to play it because they had someone, like the team we were going against had someone not make it. They like had to drop out after hours of waiting. Dude, you just got shit on. Like that's,
yeah, I'm not really sure how that happened.
the game shit on you. That's all it is.
Clearly.
But so they got like a sub, and they didn't like tell us until like right before. Dude, you suck. I can't even tell a story. You keep dying.
That was my last life.
You've
seen this so many times. All right, keep up with your story though.
Yeah.
All these episodes are going to be like 40 minutes long.
It's fun. We're like halfway through the episode. Yeah. So we contacted the admins of the tournament because they weren't allowed to have subs, and normally we're like, for competitive integrity, we're like, yeah, just like get a sub. Like we still want to like play our matches and like win regardless. Like who cares who you get, It was one of those things where there was a rule for the tournament, like you can't get any subs. And so we were kind of conflicted. Like, do we play them and risk getting disqualified because we played them when they got a sub, or do we, do we just tell admin and we get like the free win, which doesn't feel good,
feels
and we have to
fucked
wait
up.
another hour and a half to play another match, So we called admin in and then talked about it, and we were like, you know what, fuck it, let's just play them. We looked at the players and we're like, we're gonna beat this team. Like we're gonna beat them. We're confident in our abilities. We're fine. And so we ended up playing them, and we did beat them 3-1. We lost the first map, and then I went huge in
nice.
The next game after that, and then the third game of that series, I just did like fine, whatever, and then the clinching game to like clinch the series, I went huge in that game.
Awesome.
That was I felt pretty proud of myself.
I was conflicted with things like that. The issue you described, the ethical issue you described earlier, where it's like you're definitely stuck between a rock and a hard place there. Do you allow them to get the sub and then continue playing? It reminds me actually of that. I don't know if you ever saw it. There's this video at a Smash tournament where, so I don't know if you're familiar with some of the rules in Smash, but like if you pause, you're disqualified.
I think I know what you're talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. All right, so for people who don't know what I'm talking about, this guy, he was fighting another player, and the other player's controller got disconnected, like got pulled out of the port. And so he, in being a good sportsman, paused the game so that guy could reconnect his controller. The guy who had his controller disconnected was like, oh, well, you just paused the game,
wasn't
so
that Hungry
you're
Box that paused it?
It might have been.
I feel like that was the Hungry Box situation.
It might have been. He's had so many situations though. Like the crab situation alone is just like how that you can't make that shit up. That's not something that anybody would write into like a fictional.
And then he had crabs thrown at him. Like, okay,
like why crab too? Like, and apparently it was like spoiled crab because it smelled really bad.
Gosh, yeah.
But it's just like.
Well, that's because it was sitting around the whole time.
It's that situation where ever since that happened, people, when your opponent's controller gets disconnected, you have to like be an asshole, because if you're not an asshole, this guy has set the precedent that if you try to do the right thing, you're going to get disqualified for it. So
now, I mean,
and that guy did get disqualified.
Yes, and technically he could have just stood still instead of pausing. Like,
I think that it was a reflexive move.
In the moment, you're like, oh yeah, let me just like pause it so you can get your controller back in. But but stuff like that, you're right.
And that's something that you can't just like turn off either, especially when most of your practice is done in like. In practice scenarios, you're going to pause the game sometimes when you're talking about what just happened, and it's not really possible to just turn that off with the flip of a switch. It's just
in our really scenario, shitty. It was more of like a if the admins had come in sooner to like our whatever our lobby or whatever,
right?
Then they probably would have just gotten disqualified. But after we're just waiting for them. And then the more we talked about it, the more we were just like, we just want to play. Like we're so tired of waiting. Like, let's just play. Yeah. And so we slapped them, and it was a good time. And then so we were actually going to quit the tournament after that, because
I don't understand. So one person couldn't make it, and so that's why they needed the sub.
Yes.
So what is the problem with having subs if they were already on the team, or was it somebody that was never registered?
They weren't registered with the team. Okay. Like, you didn't have subs registered. It was just you have 4 people registered for this tournament for your team, and that's that. So yeah, after that third match, we were gonna quit.
I get why the rule exists. It's just
it wasn't great, but that's why we were like, fuck it, let's just play them.
I had 124 rings.
But after that, Pat and Nick, it was late for them, and they were like, they get to their girlfriends
on the East Coast or something.
Yeah, and so
let me guess. No, I don't want to never mind, because I don't know if it's publicly known where they live.
It's pretty well known, but who cares?
Is it Ohio?
No.
Okay, because I feel like every one of our online friends lives in Ohio.
No. But they were like, yeah, we're just gonna have to drop out of this thing. Like, we did what we could, but it's just like it's just getting too late, man. So then we were getting ready to just like drop out, and we were getting ready to. We told Chris to contact the admins and let them know. And then Nick like fires back into the voice chat, and he's like, "Fuck it, boys, we're doing it. We're gonna go the distance. We're gonna finish this thing out." And they're like, "Tell Pat, get him back on here." And so we're like, okay, so we're like messaging Chris, like, Chris, stop, don't message the admins, don't do it.
He had already done it.
No, he hadn't. Just let me finish the
story. Sorry. Go ahead.
And so we got Chris to stop just in time, because he hadn't started typing the message yet. And then we contacted Pat, and he was like, he had his girlfriend with him, And Nick's like, Pat, I don't care what you have to tell her. Just fucking tell her we're going to finish this out. And he was like, so he like discussed it with her, and then he just ended up having to buy them food. He just had to order pizza so that way they would have dinner for the night or whatever. And then
that was his punishment.
That was his punishment.
It's like not punishment, but their agreement.
Their agreement. So
yeah, a punishment.
We finished it out, and we played another series. I think we lost that series that we did right after that. Because we played another really good team. Oh god, that team was really good actually. In that
Wait, so
series.
the one where you guys got all pumped up, you lost the one right after that you went into?
Yeah, we went into the next one and we got matched up against another really good team.
Yeah.
And I mean, we put up a good fight, but it was just, I mean, they were just so much better.
So was this was the fifth game?
This was the fourth series.
The fourth series.
So then by the time the fifth series rolled around, we were like, okay, like let's finish it out. Let's do this last series. And it like updated the matches to show who we were going against, and it was a team that had already dropped out of the tournament. So they stayed to finish out a tournament where we got 3 out in series number 4, and then we got no match. And I was like contacting the.
You committed though.
We committed. Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
So we ended up finishing that gave us a free win because they weren't there. I contacted the people from their team, and like one guy was still awake, and they're like, yeah, we're EU, dude. It's like 3 a.m. here. Like we cannot stay up for this thing anymore.
EU?
Like
European. Oh,
yeah.
okay, all right. I thought this was, for a second I was thinking it was like an acronym related to Halo tournaments or something.
So yeah, they were like, we're not playing anymore. We dropped out, and I saw when they dropped out too. So I just had to confirm it so I could like send a screenshot to the admins or whatever. So we got a free one for that, which was like a bummer because I think we would have slapped them anyways. But regardless, we ended up 3-2 for the tournament. We finished 43rd out of 117 teams, and I was like, you know what? I will fucking take it.
That's pretty good.
My first Halo tournament ever. Like, I will take it. So it was a good time. And we were planning on doing the other ones too, but it came down to one. Nick and Pat did not want to play Halo 2 Anniversary anymore because there's only 3 competitive maps, and you get kind of sick of it. And they're not the biggest fans of Halo 2 Anniversary in the first place. And then I was still willing to compete in them, but I think it was just a matter of like there were other priorities for them, and I totally understood. Their YouTube stuff was starting to like really take off. Like they pretty much doubled their subscribers in the last like couple months.
I was gonna say I thought they were already pretty successful.
Before that, they were at like 12, maybe 13,000 subsubscribers,
and now they're almost at 25,000.
Yeah, they're almost at 25,000. So they've been. I mean, it's just been like taking off. So I was like, I totally get it.
Really been like. Wow, that turned out real. Did you see him powering up for an attack? But I had already started to spin dash.
You like so Galaxy Brain spin dash, dude. It was great.
Wow, that's a really big deal.
I mean, by the time this comes out, it'll easily have been at 2,500 already. This will be
25,000. You mean
25? Yeah, 25,000. No, they were at 2,500 when I first found them. So
yeah, they're doing good advertising them.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of good stuff.
I don't know what they're doing to boost their numbers, but they need to keep it up.
It's been fun. It's been fun to celebrate with them.
Yeah, that's great, man.
Check them out if you haven't already. Check out Breaking the Clutch. They make Halo Wars 2 content. Dude, we beat the game.
No, not yet. Now we got to do the joint stuff.
The what?
Yeah.
I thought that was the end.
Nope.
Dude.
Nope. Now the good guys and the bad guys have to join together.
Oh my god. I was so excited for this game to be over. Oh.
It's actually almost over though. It shouldn't be more than like one more session.
No. That's too much.
It's too much the one
Sonic.
more session.
Oh.
This coming up though is where they play the theme on the menu screen. Like the whole thing instead of just looping it. Yeah, I can't skip this.
Okay. Well, you know what? The episode already was supposed to end. So
yeah.
I hope
you guys enjoyed the Halo talk.
I hope you guys didn't mind me talking about my Halo experiences
after
during the final level
to not talk about Halo.
The video where I was like not gonna talk about it, and then the final mission of the dark side is, whatever. Let's talk about Halo.
Whatever, yeah.
Hopefully you guys didn't mind that. I realized I hadn't really talked about that on my YouTube channel at all. It was more just something I talked about with friends and stuff. So yeah. If you have any more questions about my experiences with competitive Halo,
That guy. Sorry.
just
I don't
want to
know if you
finish a
saw him.
sentence.
I know. I'm sorry, but like.
Like you're timing every time. You're like,
It's
wait
right
for him
before
to-
you're
wait for him to
almost
have
done.
the comma. Like,
Yeah. But one of the audio it went through the whole name of all the audio engineers except for one guy, and it was the riddle.
The riddle. If you have any more questions about my competitive Halo experiences, feel free to comment or tweet or whatever the fuck. I don't care. Contact me. I'll happily talk about it. I can talk about Halo all day.
All right, you ready?
I mean, in case I didn't say it earlier, bye. See you next time.
Can you feel